Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Veins of Lore. This is our podcast, episode 0, where we introduce the world and the players to you guys. I'm Brian Judge. I'm going to be your dungeon master, and without further ado, I give to you our first player.
Mike Oriema. I'll be playing Cecil Mortesta, the druid of the company. Mainly the healer, because we don't have any healers, and I was originally supposed to be a cleric, and fuck that. The druid was the first ever casting class I ever played. D&D 5e made it a lot easier to play a druid for me. So I much rather play druid.
5e, the cheat edition.
Yes.
Which brings us up to our second player.
Hello. Alex Middall here, and I will be playing the Ranger, Calidus Anguis. Just can't seem to put the bow down. World of Warcraft taught me from a young age. Stay far.
You were raised right. Which brings us over to our third player, my much better and more beautiful half.
Howdy, this is Kelsey Mitta. I will be playing a barbarian named Naya Ladir. I chose a barbarian because they're very silly, outrageous. They tend to get you in crazy situations that they tend to either get out of or make 20 times worse, but they'll still get out strong.
And usually the only ones alive. So our game is going to be taking place in a homebrewed world that we've been playing on for a while. I'm not going to bore you with the details of that at the moment. You'll learn a lot about the history of it as we're going through. What the more important part about what we're going to be playing is the kingdom that we're going to be coming from. We are going to be coming from the kingdom of Wistir, which is an isolated kingdom far separated from the other kingdoms of the world. The people in here are humans, and they are taught that fantastical creatures do not exist. Elves and dwarves and dragons. There is magic and such, but they are not aware of the more fantastical and mythological races. You will discover as we go along that the players are a little bit innocent and sheltered. The reason for that we'll uncover as the game plays. We're going to be coming out when the players are level 1 and bringing them through the journey as they discover about their powers and a little bit more about themselves. Wistir is a magical kingdom that is hidden away, as discussed. It is ruled by a king and a queen, the primary ruler being the queen, Queen Kayleen, and created the kingdom and chose who was coming. It is sort of like an arc. Considering the rest of the world is war-torn between the ancient races of the elves and the dwarves and the dragons, all the creatures that are not supposed to exist. Something that you will find out a little bit more in detail when we start playing, but I really don't want to ruin that for you. Let's talk a little bit more about the characters themselves. Tell me a little bit more about your personality and the archetype, if you have made that choice yet, that you're going to be aiming for, Alex.
I will definitely be more interested in the Beastmaster spec, but I did read a little bit of Swarm, which did sound cool, but I guess as the game goes on, I will 100% make my choice.
Yeah, you might find that once you start role-playing the character and you actually get into it a little bit more, you might even want to take it a completely different direction than that.
Exactly.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what archetype you might be thinking about, or a little bit about your character's personality?
Well, I am thinking about a shepherd druid or circled shepherd. Mainly more for healing aspect. Cecil is a little timid. He gets picked on, and without his good friends, I don't think he would survive in the wild.
So he's like the nerdy kid in the class.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He needs a defender and a protector. Oh, I got my allergies.
Yeah, constantly pushing his glasses up.
And what about you, my dear?
My archetype, I am not sure yet. I have a few options that I'm considering, but I will definitely let you guys know as I play my character. She's basically the protector of my party and is always trying to keep them safe, and anything that comes in her way doesn't deal with good, and she basically goes full rage and gets very angry quick, especially if it comes to harming her party.
All right, so why don't you guys tell us a little bit about how you view your other party members? Mike, how does Cecil see Calidus and Naya?
Well, he kind of sees Naya as like a bigger sister. Cecil is the youngest out of 7 children. and his older brothers and sisters are already out of the house. He was kind of like, "Oops, I'm an oopsie."
I wish mommy and daddy didn't, you know.
Right. She helps Cecil out through, the daily grind, keeps his head up. Calidus, he's unsure of right now. He's a little rough for
Around the
Cecil.
edge, you know.
Is that
Yeah.
possibly because you're both wild type characters?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know. He's just, I'm more, intellect. I don't know. I'm more into studies. He's more into practice, so to speak. That
You
makes any
like
sense?
reading about it, and he likes going and doing it.
Yeah, almost like porn and sex.
Yeah. All right.
Like Cecil would
Watching
rather
that
look
arrow
at the
hit.
books. Yeah, sure.
I never miss.
Which we might as well just bring right back around to Calidus. Calidus, how do you view your fellow party members?
My fellow party members, I would definitely say Cecil is more shy, more timid, definitely resembling more of the nerdier geeky, but he knows his shit. Naya, on the other hand, I believe we know of one another, but not too much. I'm more too focused on impressing my father and my other brothers. Me being the youngest of four, my worries were never to impress or, I guess, make better friendships. All I really wanted to do was become the head hunt master of the kingdom.
You want to take Daddy's place.
Oh, poor daddy.
Very prideful and ambitious.
And what about you, Naya? How do you see your relationship with the other characters?
Well, Cecil is basically more family than my own family. I love my family, but they're just basically what I want to be.
They're too prissy for you.
Yeah, and now Calidus, he's just Calidus. He's very, headstrong.
I never miss.
Yeah, sure. You missed often.
Calidus is a little bit of the ladies' man, I'm assuming, and that's really not the kind of
Not in
person.
Naya's eyes.
No,
just
that's what I'm saying. That's not the kind of person that Naya would really pay attention to.
Same.
I tend to follow and listen if Cecil tells me not to do something, and I'm very protective over him, even more than my family.
Brings a tear to my eye.
Aw. So you're basically his little bodyguard, his personal protector, his guardian.
He's just family. He's more family than my actual family because they're too busy, job and being, basically.
Can I keep you alive? Hopefully.
Well, being that the three of you are nobles, or the children thereof nobles, a little bit more history about each of your backgrounds. A little is Naya is actually the daughter of the king's main chancellor and advisor, whereas her mother is the head of the magical academy. But she has decided that she did not want to take on the responsibilities of magic, whereas she is more the type to go down and beat up the guys in the yard and show them their place, whereas she doesn't want to have to.
Calidus.
Whereas she doesn't want to have to sit there through all the boring stuff and read books and things. She'd rather.
We just have different paths, They do their own thing, my family, and I go my own way.
What I'm gathering, she tends to find herself more in trouble from her rage or from her mouth than she does wanting to sit in a court and deal with a bunch of boring people.
Well, obviously, boring people are boring. Not my cup of tea.
Whereas Calidus, I kind of picture lives for the hunt. You're probably the guy who's up sharpening your arrow points the night before and can't sleep because you want to put on your nice little leather armor and get out there and go swinging through the trees and hunting down the squirrels.
Oh yeah.
The only ladies he can catch.
Hey.
Is Cecil over there? I got to tell you something, though, Cecil. You probably got to have a little bit of tough skin being picked on since you were a kid.
Yeah, well, having 6 older siblings, it helps. It helps out.
And that's why you're a mama's boy and you follow in your mom's path.
Yeah, Cecil's going to be the guy who's going to be whipping up all the elixirs and all the stuff that's going to keep the party alive. And hopefully, if he survives, we might see some antics with some conjured fae or woodland creatures.
Don't worry.
Mhm.
Nye's the meat shield. She's got you.
Okay, so why don't you guys tell us a little bit about how your characters view your kingdom? Like what kind of imagination do you as the players have in your head about how you see the kingdom? I'm a little bit curious about it.
You want me to go first there, Kills?
Yeah, go for it.
Say that I imagine the kingdom to be very pristine and clean. Even the, I guess, quote unquote, commonwealth or poor people per se, would even have a more of a, I guess, modest, not so raggedy, beaten down society. I would say it's more. If you're a World of Warcraft player, I would say bring it as close to Stormwind. It would
Yeah.
remind me of a very pristine, prestigious, well kept kingdom.
Yeah, I kind of have designed it where, to be honest with you, it's very similar to a socialist society. It's small enough where everybody kind of shares everything. Trade works, barter works. The economy basically is shared amongst the people. The king and queen make sure that they allot things. The good part about it is they are separated from the influence of the rest of the world. I'm kind of curious how you guys visualize the actual setting of the kingdom via discussions that we've had that obviously we haven't had on air, but we've had privately.
Well, again, I'll double down on it. I do imagine the kingdom being very pristine, again, very clean, not like a rundown. No hate towards the dwarves, but not a rundown, dirty, smoggy shithole, so to speak.
Right now, there's some really angry dwarves everywhere.
Well, honestly, Cecil spends a lot of time indoors, practicing his alchemy,
Reading books.
reading books, just following his studies. The only time he really goes out is he has school, or yeah. I think he envisions it as almost like a Pleasantville.
My kind of pictures, when Lord of the Rings, when they're going to where the elves live,
Yeah.
and the hobbits are going over the mountain. It's just that beautiful
Right,
palace
right,
and everything, and they're sitting there, and the hobbits are throwing food everywhere, and they're just so in disgrace and like, what the hell's happening? And I just imagine it kind of like that, a beautiful palace with beautiful, like everybody just has their own place that's just huge with
Hear the horns of
beautiful.
Mordor now.
Yep.
right, right.
Sort of like the mixture of Rivendell and Hobbit Hill Home.
Yeah.
Yep. You see that beautiful palace where the elves live. The high elves, I should say.
That's actually not too much different than how I kind of see it. The way I kind of envision each of the main houses, it's sort of like it's like there's a shelter and there's these beautiful gardens. I kind of envision it sort of like where all the main houses kind of run along the river, surrounding around where the palace is up on the side of the mountain. And it's almost like an open air type situation because,
Yeah.
it's not that it doesn't rain or snow there, but the actual that, it's kind of adorned with flowers and, basically your overall fantastical, overly indulged garden, almost like the botanical gardens.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more of a description of how daily life is in Wisteer. There are 8 ruling families, and each one of the ruling families has a special job that they take care of. Alex's family, or Calidus's family, they are the woodsmen. His father is the head of the hunt. He handles all the hunting of the game, and he's also part of the king's personal guard. Whereas Mike's family, his father is the archdruid, and his mother is the chief alchemist to the kingdom. They all take particular roles that they take place, whereas, as explained before, Naya's father is the right hand of the king, and the mother is the head of the school. There are other families, such as the Borgesh family, a bit more of the sort of like the tough style of people. The Lord Borgesh, he is the head of the constabulary, and also the chief investigator of the town. There is also the Merceus family, which is the religious leaders. Speaking of which, the gods that are worshipped within the kingdom, there are 3 of them. One of them is Corellin Larethane, which is the primary elven god, but he is also the god of wilderness and the god of hunting. You would think that it would be strange for a kingdom of humans that have no idea that elves exist to worship an elven god as their primary god. They never really made that connection, and their view of Corellin is not that he is an elf or is he some sort of fantastical creature, but he is a being that is one of nature, which is what they are mostly surrounded by. The next worshipped god is the goddess Ariana. She's sort of the fertility goddess, as well as the goddess of medicine and the goddess of healing. And the third worshipped god is Samil. And Samil is the god of the dead, but not in the sense that you would consider him to be an evil deity. He is more of like the the guardian of souls, the carrier of souls. When people die, he's the funerary god that is called to carry the soul to the underworld so it can join Corellin or Ariana or whatever realm that it wants to go to. Whereas in the kingdom, the evil god is actually one who is not very commonly spoken about, for invoking the name of a bad deity tends to give it some power, but he is a god of necromancy, and that is Vladimir. And when he is actually spoken of and worshipped, usually those cabals are sought out and destroyed and cut out of society as quickly as possible. So when we start playing our first episode and record, it is going to be about a big event that takes place in the kingdom every year, and the characters are of the age now where they are able to take place in it, which is going to be the Great Hunt. During the Great Hunt, what happens is the hunters and some of the members of society go out and they hunt down food to get them through the winter before the snow land blocks the areas out so they actually can't get out the food. It is this huge celebration throughout the entire kingdom. Everybody looks forward to it. In fact, there are great prizes rewarded and such, and our players, well, not our players, but our characters are looking forward to their chance to win the special armor and get the special praise from the kingdom as they go into the Great Hunt. So enough about the actual characters, and we're going to talk a little bit about the player. So what we're going to talk about is what you guys would like to tell the listeners about your experiences with role-playing games. What brought you to D&D, what made you decide you wanted to play D&D, and what things you have done that may have influenced your decisions, such as what role-playing games you may play, your MMORPGs, etc. We'll start off with Kelsey this time.
My experience with role playing games, honestly, I just recently started about 8 months ago with playing obviously D&D, but I've been playing video games for years now. Elder Scrolls, Call of Duty, all that fun stuff. But honestly, playing role playing games has been new this year, and it's been an adventure, a very, very fun adventure.
You've already gotten the bug. We've got tons of miniatures. We've got tons of dice.
We have miniatures that we can't even keep up with painting, but here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, we kind of got a box that we got to work on.
A box, you mean? 3 drawers.
Yeah, a little bit obsessed, but hey, you know what? You got nothing better to do.
Don't worry, I still got to paint your bear.
Thank you.
Alex is over there choking. How about you, Alex?
My experience with role playing would be very minimal, even with my, I guess, background of playing World of Warcraft and just other online games, which is fun and all.
Wow.
But it's a different aspect when faced behind a microphone in person with your friends, really being your character. Like me actually getting to play Calidus Anguis himself is going to be an awesome experience, and I'm very excited because we have maybe 3 other campaigns where I can not be Alex, which is cool and all. But now that it's for something instead of it just being for fun, which yes, the podcast is for fun, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited to play.
So he's excited not to be Alex
Yeah.
in front of total strangers.
Oh,
And how about you, Mr. Mike, over there?
Well, I started playing back, PS2, Dark Alliance 1 and 2, and then moved from that to the Elder Scrolls series.
Damn,
Oblivion.
you're old.
I am. Oblivion, Skyrim. Then I went into the Fallout series. So I've played all of them. And then
and then
I played a little WoW, I must say. I played WoW. Brian got me into that. It didn't work out. Brian got me into D&D. That seemed to work out just fine.
Here we are now.
Yeah.
Also, you're a bit of a Magic player.
Yeah, I do play Magic the
With
Gathering.
those magical hands.
Yeah,
Cards.
I just play Commander. I don't play anything else. When it
You
comes
play
to-
Commando.
I play Commando.
Yes, he is
Trousers.
completely butt naked sitting next to me.
I am.
Just a headset. That's it.
Well, gee, if I know you're playing Commando, maybe I will get interested in playing Magic the Gathering.
Easy boys, easy boys. That's enough.
Gather these
Rated R podcast.
Rated R podcast. Oh, no. Trust me, I've listened to some podcasts. So, speaking of, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about some of your influences in the podcast that you listen to? I'll start off, as with two of the other players here. I am a fan of Dungeons and Daddies as well as NADPod.
I wonder who got you onto Dungeons and Daddies.
Yeah, well, I'm a very loyal, not another D&D podcast fan.
Well,
I have
that's
to
very
admit-
clear,
I have
but
to admit,
they're good. But I'm saying we also got you onto Dungeons and Daddies.
you guys did get me onto Dungeons and Daddies. Another
Kudos to you guys.
another thing that I tend to follow a little bit is because I am an ESO player. He was addicted. A
A little bit.
bit of background about that is I was an original World of Warcraft player. Played for probably about 15 years of my life until I made the mistake of hitting /play one day, and that was the last time I ever played because I realized how much of my life I wasted. 3 years, 8 months, 14 hours, and 16.
Jesus, that's not even as old as our child.
Yeah, well, I also had two other characters I wrote up around the same time and had almost the same amount of time put into them. So that being said, that was the end of World of Warcraft.
And you're an old man too.
That's all right. I got a half a dozen characters in Monster Hunter Worlds, and I never even beat the freaking game. But I put hours and hours.
At least you tried.
I did.
I'm proud of you.
We're some real gamers in this podcast.
We are.
Yeah,
Watch out.
What else, guys? What else?
my new addiction to video gaming is ESO, which I have a much more controlled addiction to.
We'll say somewhat.
Yeah, but you always sign in for those stupid.
Every single
Dailies.
night.
As long as I get my daily, sometimes I'm fine. Plus, you know, a lot of
On
times.
rainy days, forget about it. He'll play from the minute he wakes up to the minute he goes to bed. So
Well, so the reason behind that is I have a job that is mostly weather permitting. So on rainy or snowy days when there's no point in getting outside and doing anything, I, tend to sit down and lock myself down with some coffee in front of my video games.
So all of that aside, I also listen to Dungeons and Daddies and NADPod. I often watch Dimension 20 and Critical Role, just to name a few. Alex?
Oh, it's my turn again. Don't actually have much, I guess, experience listening to a lot of podcasts. I'm a pretty, white chalkboard brain, Yeah, I
do it.
don't really have much experience, I guess, listening to podcasts and such.
We
ADHD
tried.
is
Trust
mostly-
us. We tried to get him into it, but he just ignores us.
I also kind of see when you're doing a podcast like what we're doing, you kind of follow the same rules that you follow at a bar. No talks about money, politics, or
Oh, yeah.
religion, which is one of the things that you're going to see us lean away from in here. So, I mean, I guess if anybody ever wants to ask us what our political views might be, what our religious views might be, or what our views on money are, that's not something you're really going to get an answer from us on. That's the kind of thing that I feel should be kept private amongst people. What is it that you guys are hoping to see come out of our adventures with the podcast?
Well, you and I have been playing D&D together for about 20 years.
About
and
that.
We've had some pretty epic campaigns and shit, and I just want to let everybody else enjoy it. It's about time that other people get to listen to our antics.
One of the most epic moments I can think in one of our campaigns that I would really wish we could have had on recording was some years back when we did an invasion, and as we came out of the bay, there was a hill giant swatting at a lady with her carriage, and I remember, yes, I will shamelessly tell you, The hill giant swatted the carriage
Oh,
and then leaned down in the lady's face as the baby cried and went flying up against the wall. Ah. Moments like that are times that I wish we would record.
moments like that we'll treasure forever.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody out there would have got butt hurt, but at the same time, the half hour of laughter and inability to play that ensued after that was probably one of the greatest epic challenging moments of my career as a DM.
Well, I remember when we had a Christmas session, and we all played Vikings, and I forget the premise, and the only thing I remember is us riding a fucking Yule log down a mountain to get it back to the village on time to light it. And that fucking adventure, like shit like that. And I mean, and the Planescape campaign that we're working on, I wish we would have recorded that too.
Yeah.
Freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, me fighting guards to get away, and then them chasing us, and just it was very intense. They chased us through the whole planescapes. Just say that.
you mean you guys didn't get mad when I got you guys all cornered and you all got magic missiled literally by 30 magic missiles
Yeah,
just to
but
further the plot?
we still were alive, and
Well, no, if I
For the most part.
yeah, for the most
for the most part, you were executed, then you woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
You
pretty
let us
much-
wake up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of flew me off a building. I was trying to jump onto.
So basically, what you're saying is moments like these are what we're looking forward to. I think we're going to have a little bit of comedy. I think we're going to have a
It's
little
just
bit of drama.
It's about having fun, and our listeners to enjoy, listen to us and have fun too with us as we play. And
So one of the things that we did want to touch up on before we wrap up here in a few minutes is some of the game mechanics that we're going to be bringing into play. Some of the home rules that we are going to be using.
Thunderpoint.
Yes, there's going to be actually a system created by Mike in the game that he DMs that we've been transferring to our other games. I'm not sure if it's something that other players use. I'm sure we're not the only ones who have ever thought about it, or should I say Mike's not the only one who's ever thought about it. I'm sure somewhere's out there somebody's got a similar homebrew rule, but that is Sunder points. And what the Sunder points are is when you roll a natural 20 on either a ranged or a melee attack, you get a point. Once you get 3 points, it allows you to have a critical roll that any one non-critical hit that would normally hit a target into a critical attack. This does not work towards spells. This does not work towards special abilities, purely against your weapon attacks. You can have no more than 3 Sunder points carried on you at once, and you cannot acquire anymore until after you have spent at least 1. The other rule that we're going to use is a common rule that is used amongst many players, which is the cleave rule. And the way we're going to do the cleave rule is it's going to be exactly like most people use it with their homebrew, where when you attack, if you have more damage than what was needed to kill that character with a melee weapon, it will go to the next mob within 5 feet. And if it's a ranged weapon, as long as they are in line with the creature you just killed, it will go up to 10 feet, transfer the damage over. So, yes, we are going to be using the 2014 5th edition rules. But there are also going to be smatterings of rules from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Basic Edition Dungeons and Dragons, Second Edition Dungeons and Dragons, and probably 3.5. You may sit there and listen and hear and go, oh my God, that's not even a rule from 5th edition. Well, there are times that you're going to find out that no, some of the ruling calls that I'm going to make and some of the things that we will do will not be of 5th edition. You will see that they are rulings from other editions. To wrap it up a little bit, but you're going to find out a little bit more as we go. There's no use in putting everything on the plate and the table. So we're going to see you again in episode 1, which is going to be titled A Hunt to Remember, which is going to be about the great hunt we were discussing before. As we go out, don't forget that we are Veins of Lore. We are a podcast about playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Brian Judge. I'm your dungeon master, and I am joined by Mike Oriema,
Cecil, the druid.
Alex Middaugh,
I am Calidus, the ranger.
and Kelsey Marie.
I am Naya, the barbarian.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and for joining us. And we're looking forward to seeing you again
Thank you
later.
very much.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.